What do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent?
Because that's by design. These are all manufactured problems. Black people were trying to tell y'all this.
Dry up them crocodile tears, Sarah. I don't care. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because this is white people's fault. Because black people have been telling y'all for fucking decades. We have been protesting. We have been doing everything for all these decades. And y'all have sat back and reaped the rewards thinking y'all was a part of the club because y'all was white.
Hey guys, welcome back again to the channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So in today's video, this particular woman was crying. She's a whitey, so she was crying and talking about how the cost of living have become in the US and how other countries can afford groceries without complaint, and they don't have to use like 20% of their paycheck to pay for groceries, knowing fully well that a lot of people actually live paycheck to paycheck in the US. Okay, we've seen it all over social media and people complaining about it. And she was also complaining the housing crisis, how people are not able to afford renting their houses or even afford to buy a house. Before you can decide to buy a house, you must have known how much you're earning per month, right? But here, other countries like in China, okay, it's so easy for people to be able to buy home, afford the basic things of life. So she was really crying, and a lot of black people decided to jump in and reacted to her video. So we are going to see what they have to say, and we come back and talk more. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section as we watch this video, and please do well to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up as well. Let's go watch the videos.
Please stay for this, because I've reached the part in this whole like class consciousness part where I'm just filled with the most impotent rage, and like I'm talking that white hot I need to sink my teeth into something and scream kind of rage. Because what do you mean that it never had to be this hard for us? Like, what do you mean in other countries they don't have to spend 20% of their paycheck on groceries? What do you mean in other countries everyone can own homes because they're not paying $2,000 a month in rent, or that their mortgages aren't like their entire paycheck? What do you mean that people in China work one job and they don't even work 40 hours and they can easily afford their life? And then I'm over here working 60 hours a week, just me as a single parent, to like barely make ends meet, and I'm penny pinching every single second, and like there's so much of life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on because of money and like work and no social support net. And you mean to tell me that it didn't have to be like this? They keep us in these chains on purpose, and it never had to be like this. Like, I did everything right. I went to college. I had to drop out of college to take care of my mom when she was sick because, again, no social services, like no safety nets. My dad worked his whole life and died and left everything to my mom. My mom was disabled and she lived on credit, and like she barely made ends meet, and she did everything she was supposed to, and I did everything I was supposed to, and it just keeps getting worse. It was never supposed to be like this, and I'm so angry that it is. Because what do you mean? I've spent so much of my life working so hard to scrape by, and it never had to be like that. My suffering was at the expense of someone else becoming wealthy because they could. And I am so angry about this. It can't stay like this. It doesn't have to stay like this. Life that my kid misses out on and that I miss out on.
I'm just cut it off right there. Dry up them fucking crocodile tears, Sarah. I don't care. I don't care. You know why I don't care? Because this is white people's fault. This is white people's fault. And now y'all want to boohoo and cry because y'all done got on that Chinese app and they done put the Uno reverse card on y'all ass and held up that mirror and told y'all, no, y'all are the brokies. Not us. We not the brokies. It's y'all. And y'all got to face the cold, hard reality that y'all have made this bed and now y'all got to sit in it. No, take accountability. Don't sit here and boo-hoo and cry and get on the TikTok and talk in the internet talking about what are we going to do? What are we going to do? No, what are y'all going to do? Because black people have been telling y'all for fucking decades. We have been protesting. We have been doing everything for all these fucking decades. And y'all have sat back and reaped the rewards thinking y'all was a part of the club because y'all was white. Y'all thought this shit was about race. No, it's always been about class. And y'all were never a part of the club. Y'all make up 60% of this country's population. There's no we, it's y'all. Every minority could vote or go against something or go for something that we know is good for the people. And y'all would turn it down because y'all have the overwhelming majority. So it's no we, it's y'all. Fix y'all shit. I know y'all don't like to take accountability for nothing, but now it's time. Y'all over there boohooing and crying because y'all seeing the Chinese Walmart and they over there paying $3 for a whole goddamn bag of groceries. Meanwhile, you got to pay $200 and barely fill up your grocery cart. See, all those things you're boohooing and crying about, FDR made that happen. But then it all went away in 1967. Why did I say 1967? What does that correlate to? Oh, the Civil Rights Act was passed. Integration happened. And then white people stripped away or voted against themselves to strip away all public services and entities and all those great things that y'all had prior to integration because y'all didn't want black people to have the shit. So y'all gave all that up in the 1980s when Reagan created trickle-down economics because y'all didn't want us to have. He gave us crack and trickle-down economics. And y'all was cool with that. Y'all made a deal with the devil and now y'all got to accept the consequences of y'all fucking actions. Y'all had affordable housing. Y'all didn't have fucking credit scores. Y'all didn't have you could send your kids to college for the free or for the low. We had advanced and effective public transit and services in this country. But y'all gave all of it away because y'all didn't want niggas to have access. Y'all fought so hard with things like red line and all these different things to hold black people back to keep us from getting a piece of the pie. Whole time they taking y'all pie. And now y'all got to face the music. And y'all don't, now you want to boo-hoo. Y'all let them pass the Patriot Act in the act of protecting us from terrorists. Use that Islamophobia against y'all dumbass. Y'all let them further push the Patriot Act in 2019 because of that the immigration that y'all was so afraid of, all the immigrants, right? Just taking away all y'all fucking right. Now y'all want to point and what are we gonna do? No, what are y'all gonna do? Because when black people out here marching for police brutality, who they just do things to us and write a fake ass police report and get away with it and nothing happens? You think or when we did ride when things like Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin happened, and the original Black Lives Matter activists, the original movement that got hijacked, you know what I'm saying? The original activists that was out there on the ground got took out by the police. Oh no, y'all ain't say nothing then. When we telling y'all that they're interfering in our freedoms and our rights, but no, it's black people, so we ain't worried. It's not us, it's them. Well, I shouldn't have to pay for the sins of my fathers. I didn't own any slaves. I'm not racist. Yes, but you're compliant to the system and you're complacent and you're okay with the system that gave you an edge up against us. Go back to R. Kelly or the things that was going on at Nickelodeon or with Harvey Weinstein, all that weird shit, right? There were people still giving up their kids to that, making deals, still going up there knowing everything that was going on, putting their children, putting their livelihoods, cameramen, people going to get opportunities and jobs. They did not care so long as it wasn't them. And that was y'all this entire time up until now. Go back and look at the prequel to the Purges. Where did they start? How did they get people to approve some shit like the Purge? They started in the hood. They started with black people. They started with the disenfranchised. So when y'all turn a blind eye and y'all let that shit go on with black people and we getting our ass whipped by police and we getting our rights taken away and we getting profiled and we getting this, and they're slowly implementing that shit and they were slowly draining that shit from y'all. It look like, come on, bruh. You would have thought y'all would have woke up when that shit happened in North Carolina and that hurricane went up there and fucked them up. But no, what did they turn into? Oh, well, it's Biden. Whole time North Carolina is a red fucking state. Oh, like, your local governments fucking failed y'all. So no, there's no, what are we gonna do? No, it's what y'all gonna do. Grab y'all fucking nuts and go do something. Because we, black people, we tired of being y'all fucking crash dummies and going out there and then they give y'all a little piece of the pie, then y'all go back and y'all let us out there to fucking drown. No, y'all go do something. Oh, and never forget, we could have had Bernie, but y'all said he was a socialist.
A few days before the TikTok ban, lots of Americans migrated from TikTok to Red Note. Okay, some of them were boycotting Meta, so they decided to migrate to Red Note app, and they started learning so many things about the Chinese culture, because a lot of them had this perception about China that maybe they are living that primitive or they're living backward. They never knew that they have technology, they are very much advanced, they didn't know that. Aside that, they also found out that cost of living in China is not the same as that of the US, because they were living so well and very comfortably for a cheaper amount of dollar. Okay, so you can see a 2-bedroom apartment, someone is living in a 2-bedroom apartment for $300, and you already know how much rent is worth in the US. So this woman came out after seeing all that is happening on the Red Note and watching all these Chinese people share their lifestyle with them and how they don't have to do 3 jobs, for them to be able to sustain their family, or how they don't have to do all of this thing, like do a lot of work. Okay, you might just have one job, go out by 7, come back by 5 p.m. and that's it. Okay, so they shared their daily routine with them, how they have to have breakfast in the office, like all of those things, and how they can also afford groceries. So this woman cannot fathom the fact that people can live a normal life. Yes, people can live a normal life without having to break every part of their bones to be able to live that life. So this is why she's crying on TikTok.
So I just saw a post where a young white woman is upset and crying because she's understanding how easy they have it in China, and she doesn't understand why as Americans we have to work so hard just to have so little. She doesn't understand why we're spending 20% of our income on groceries. And she goes on to list a lot of problems, and she's like, it didn't need to be this hard? What do you mean we didn't have to do it like this? And I started to empathize with her, but then in the back of my mind, I thought, girl, this isn't new. Why is this new to you? And then I realized for quite some time, a lot of white people in this country, the issues that black people had, they thought they were just black people issues. When black people were spending 20% of their income on groceries, white people thought, oh, that's a black people problem. When black people had to work 2 jobs to make ends meet, white people thought, that's unfortunate. And now that the black people's problems have reached white people have hot tears, and they don't understand how it came to be this way. Now, this is one of the reasons why it's important in any country or any place to listen to those who are marginalized. Those people are kind of like a canary in the coal mine, letting you know, hey, we got some issues. You can't see it, and maybe it's invisible to you, but they are on the way.
The amount of white people, since we've all gone to Red Note and have made Chinese friends, the amount of white people who are coming back to this app and saying that we're being scammed and, oh my goodness, that we shouldn't be living like this in America. Oh my God. You had to get on a Chinese app to learn that life isn't meant to be hard. And the way that we live life in these United States is difficult as hell, because that's by design. These are all manufactured problems. Y'all had to get on an app made by the Chinese to learn that. But when black people were trying to tell y'all this,
racism would be the answer. So this all goes back to what they call drained pool politics. Once integration became the law of the land with cases like Brown v. Board, a lot of white people moved to get rid of public services and goods like swimming pools. And that meant they had fewer resources. They had fewer third places. And it was fine back in the day because they would just pay. They would pay to go to country clubs. which is why there's a proliferation of country clubs in this country right now. But they put all those kinds of things that used to be public services behind a paywall because then they could just say, well, you can't pay, or this is a private club. It doesn't matter if you can pay. We're not going to allow you in. It's our choice. It's not a public service. It's not a government run thing. Just so Black people wouldn't have access. But over time, the cost of these services rose higher and higher until most white people cannot afford them. But it's not just that. I mean, this idea goes all the way back to things like Social Security. Do you know white people refused to vote it through back during the New Deal until two groups of people were not eligible? Domestic labor, so that would be like maids, and agriculture workers who didn't own the land. So in other words, if you were a sharecropper, like most Black people in the South, or a maid, like the women, you couldn't get Social Security. Once they put those provisions in, all of a sudden, they could have it all day long. White people in this country have always been obsessed with the idea of Black people not having things. And that's why they're in the mess that they're in. It's kind of nice to be able to say what I want on here. The reason why countries, the Scandinavian ones, Denmark and Sweden and whatnot, have such great policies is in part because those countries are homogenous, or mostly so. And they're not trying to investigate who's benefiting from the free child care and the universal health care and all that. They are moving on. We could have a great standard of living in this country, but white people are so obsessed, so angry at the idea other people who are not white are going to have that same great standard of living. They would rather live in squalor. It's why the Affordable Health Care Act got gutted. The utter terror that people who don't look like you are going to be able to live decently. What you pay for. I mean, politicians have tried to convince white voters for years. This is in their interest. It was in their interest to not have to pay for these goods and services. And now you fell for it. They convinced you it was communist or socialist to have a decent standard of living, to have the taxes that you pay go to something other than endless war, to actually go towards the maintenance of the nation and making our lives better.
She can't believe that every other country or in other countries people can afford groceries and people can buy houses. I already told you that these people, Chinese, can actually rent 2-bedroom flat for $300. And she also found out that they can buy a home and they get to pay just one-time property tax without repeating the whole payment every other year. So having to hear that, she was like, are you kidding me? Because she has never seen a thing like that. Haven't lived in the US for years. If you're not a travel person, no matter where you live, until you start traveling, you find out that what you know is just smaller fraction of what is really happening in real life, right? It's not the reality. The little thing you know is just around your corner. Until you step out of your comfort zone, you'll be able to discover that there is more to life than what you already know. So this is why she's crying all over and people are sitting her video and Black people are like, you know, we already told you guys this is not how life is supposed to be. This is not how life is. Okay, we cannot be living paycheck to paycheck. If you listen to a lot of videos that I've also shared here, you find out that lots of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. So immediately they pay them this check, they're using it to, you know, pay bills, and they're waiting for the next paycheck to come in, so they use it to sort out another bill. And there was even a video I did where somebody asked, you know, how people are surviving, and this woman said they live in debt, like, and she knows that she cannot come out of this debt until the day she, you know. So this is reality of people, a lot of people who live in the US, and this lady is not finding it funny. After hearing all of this, she's not finding it funny because it's heartbreaking for her. So she cannot fathom the fact that people actually live healthy, have access to good health care, have access to good food, good meals, can afford vegetables and fruits that can help your life, right? She cannot believe it. And she's, if you see her, the way she's talking, maybe she's been struggling and she just needed to pour it out. But one thing that Black people will always do is to say, we told you so, right? Because they've been shouting over and over again that this is not how life is supposed to be. There is more and more better options to life than what they are seeing currently. But these people will never accept that there is more to life, okay? Because this is only what they have seen over time in their life. So anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Okay, let's have that conversation in the comment. Let me know, what do you think, and what do you have to say to this lady, this whitey woman that came out to really pour out her heart? Let me know what your thoughts are. Please do what to subscribe to my channel if you have not already, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. I hope to see you guys on my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.